Let's do Sven's EP though. Fourth roundtable EP of his. Fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I listened to the preview of this, which, by the way, his album from last year. I cannot speak French, so pardon me if I butcher this. Fin Absolue Du Monde. Was one of my top 10 albums of the year. Another great LP from bro. Desolation is one of his best songs. Like, holy shit. But I listened to the preview of this, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like, this really isn't all that. Yeah, the art's hard. The art's hard. I know Sven is very picky when it comes to his cover arts. He had to specifically tell the people how to style the Inhuman EP cover art, so it didn't get too happy for him. But regardless, I listened to the preview for this, and I wasn't all too blown away. I can't lie. I've never been the biggest fan of him doing rhythm-esque stuff. I think it limits his sound. There's obviously exceptions to that rule when it comes to him. Some of the names, there's even IDs, but the names aren't coming to mind right now. But I hope I enjoy this more than the preview actually. Than my hype is at because of the preview, because it felt kind of underwhelming to me. But that's why we're here, right? To check out the songs in full. 5 tracks. Title track. Let's do it. Very similar melody to quite a few other intros and non-drops of his, but the sounds he used are nice. Everyone is afraid of the dark. I think the pan snare is a little too harsh, and most of the time I feel like kick clap pan snares don't really work. I think this is an instance of this. I think the sounds work well together, and you can actually differentiate them because the mix sounds so fucking good, but I'm not too crazy on this. Great fill, but this main thing here I'm not a fan of. Great low end rumble though. The pants there thing is too much. The resonance. The hyper-trap part is good. The growls, the way they like open up, like I like that. Sick build up too, I can't lie. Just the D sharp note and this weird fucked build up drum here. Everyone is
Nobody's afraid of the dark.
I love how he goes so hard when it comes to fills. Like, bro used Reese's a lot, but he just has to do he has to be so violent with his Reese fills at this point to just make them stand out, and it works. We missed you, Dinah. Yeah, bro. Preview didn't sound too great, but this song is better than I thought it'd be. And sometimes, the last point I want to say, that second drop was pretty decent. Sometimes I feel like he puts choir in where it's not really necessary and where it might sound a little cheesy. I think the choir here in the second drop did fit, but my thing is he's done so many choir laden drops that work so much better. And just in comparison, even in a vacuum, it really wouldn't blow me away like that, if you get what I mean. But it's definitely listenable. Like, there wasn't anything bad about this song. Portions of it were underwhelming. The second drop isn't the craziest thing ever. The hybrid trap part did kind of save it for me, though. Now, it was all right. It was all right. Death and Absentia. Hey, Pure Gold. I do like that he's kind of experimenting with these guitars in the intro. The distortion is really fucking cool. That's what's differentiating these intros, despite the notation, that D sharp like key being super reminiscent of what he's done in the past. Actually, him working with different sounding instruments, whether those are whether they're synthesizers or fucking analog or fucking IRL, who knows? It sounds nice. Sounds like a fucking soundtrack. This is great. Okay, like, give me some time to process that, homie. I love that distorted, harsh, is that a riser? That. The sweet. LFO shit, the filtering is really saving this song from being a pretty generic Code Pandorum song. I like what's going on. The machine gun I've heard a million times from him, but the flow and that wow wow is really like carrying the track. It does, Dino. Absolutely. Production is slightly better. I will say, despite how often he works in D sharp minor, uh, he makes the tracks just unique enough. Even though sometimes I do get tired of what the tracks actually do. Maybe a little longer here. Never mind. Oh, I take that back. That swoop is aggressive as shit, but I really like these knob drops. This is E minor, Ultra 5. Oh, I'm a bot. I thought you meant E flat. Yeah, Liz, I said that. I read minor as flat in my head for whatever reason. This definitely is D sharp minor. Holy shit. What was that distortion? That felt like a fucking hardcore drop. Yeah, I need to find some way to get shorter stream delay, cause my shit sometimes be so fucking behind. Word Dyna. And another thing with Sven is sometimes like he's very aware of an idea maybe getting too stale. So what he does is he goes crazy with the flow, and sometimes that flow might be difficult to get into. I was locked in with that first part of the drop right there because the flow was interesting, but it's almost too syncopated, if that makes sense. I think there has to be a perfect balance of, or not perfect, but a very solid balance of interesting flow and digestibility when it comes to something like that. If I'm trying to listen to the song multiple times over, you get what I mean? It's punchy as shit though, I can't lie. It's pretty powerful. I mean, the filtering was violent as fuck. The machine guns had this cavernous like reverb to them I liked. And yeah, just everything about this was just like thrashing back and forth, bro. These two songs so far aren't like upper echelon code songs or anything, but I'm finding this shit pretty decent. Mahakala. Yeah, Lizdek. Like when it comes to weightiness with his music, well, his last album had some pretty incredible shit in it. It was one of my top albums of the year. Like Cement Garden and Desolation mainly are two of his heaviest, greatest songs. I put them both in top 20. And but Desolation is top 3 probably. But Yeah, it just goes back to what I said earlier. Sometimes his recent music is too reminiscent of his older stuff, where he was covering new ground in the death step subgenre, uh, and it sometimes it's just too close for comfort in terms of some of the songs almost giving me deja vu to older Coach shit. Oh yeah, Dino, of course, you're a goat for knowing that song. I like this. This is Salem Witch Trials, that intro. I've been tapped into this nigga since I've officially been a fan since this song here. That's back when Death Step was all the craze. What the fuck is that instrument called? Is that just a detuned fiddle? That horror movie witch sounding fucking instrument in that intro.
We need to find a way off this nightmare.
He just has the sub fluttering on in the background. It's actually nice, a nice way to transition and keep the consistency of the song going. Another case like the first track where the switch carries the first drop. That kick is more people should start using kicks like bro does. Focus less on transient and just body, bro. That just punch straight downward. Yeah. It's not crazy. The non-drop's the best part of the song.
We need to find a way off this nightmare.
Great pre-drop sound.
We need to find. We need to find a way off this nightmare.
Yeah, it's really the percussion that's carrying here, and something's layered with the kick, like a chant or something, some tonal thing in the background. Why did bro use the pre-drop sound? Yeah, I'm saying, bro, that would have hit so much harder because I've heard him do so much with machine guns to the point where there's not much left to do. You get what I mean? Yeah, let's deck Deadly Dolls is top 3 off. Lovecraftian Horrors and Calvaire is arguably his best song, so those are definitely like peak.
Safe. No one.
Bruh, why the resonator though?
Safe. No one.
That was a sick fucking fill. That was evil. It is Ultra 5. It is. B, C, B, 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 G sharp, B, 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 G. That's all part of the F minor scale or whatever he's using. Sometimes resonators I feel like can sound out of tune. Maybe because of the sound itself, like the timbre of like the resonation. And there might be slight pitch deviation too. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't even know what he resonated, if that was the machine gun or yeah. But yeah, this has been the least inventive one so far. He definitely tried his best with what was put to the table in terms of like machine guns and all the other shit going on, but yeah, some experimentation there though, you know, with the resonator shit. Yeah, but this least favorite so far. Summoning. Well, actually, because it had a sick intro and I was a huge fan of the percussion. It might still be on equal level with Nightmare Fuel, but both songs are like, they're alright to me. Summoning.
When you summon Satan, he will turn his attention to.
That is a classic Death Step intro right there, bro. That sounds like Lovecraftian horror shit. Maybe more atonal, maybe more brief, but the vocal sample, bro, that nasty little sound there. The clock ticking.
When you summon Satan, he will turn his attention to you.
For his standards, in the context of his discography, this is pretty generic. The part before the switch, that first half there, I like the background creaky, detuned sound there. That made it kind of interesting, but these choir shots, orchestral shots, I mean, aren't really it. Oh man, okay, but I do like that the song's kind of giving me nostalgia. The pan snare pitching that high, I haven't heard him really do, if I remember correctly, in at least 8 years. And the one right there, that sounds like 2015 code.
Submit yourself, for he is a consuming fire.
No one makes better pan snares than Punishment and him. I mean, y'all do realize the nigga Murata got that from him and from people like Punishment and Dollar, as well as him switching to the machine gun sound, but that's a different topic.
When you summon Satyr, he will turn his attention to you.
I'm just not impressed by this because I've been listening to bro for a decade. That's my thing. I've heard him done. I've heard him do this in the past, much better. Now the back and melody here, I like that it's more sporadic, and I forgot to mention, when he goes ham with the machine guns, I like it more also because just because of the sheer brutality of it, him just going crazy. It works much better here than it did on Mahakala, the machine gun spam. And it's offset triplet machine guns, I'm always gonna have a affinity for. That was alright too. It was decent. Cinders is the last track with Martvr. He released a song with Dude. He's like the golden boy at Crow's Nest right now, I feel like. He released a song with him as well on the album. I think was pretty cool. I think it fell like in the middle to like medium low range of the album if I was to rank it from best to worst. So maybe, how long is the fucking album? It'll ranked about at spot maybe 8 or 9, I want to say. Yeah, it was a decent collab, so we'll see what this is about. Good intro. I like how the actual musicality is just looming in the back and slowly building, while the build-up drums aren't filtered at all, really. It gives it this semi-empty feeling that's kind of unsettling. And then there, before I shut the fuck up and let the drop play, that basically faded out and it just being a riser and a sweep. That's pretty sick. I like the writing of this intro. Tonality works. The Reese fading back in after the man, this is good. And the sustains in the first part were solid too. This might be the best one. Good variation. I do like the variation, but it's not as, the song isn't as brooding anymore and not as dark because the tonality's being a little too goofy, if that makes sense. I do like it, but it's that some of the darkness has been lost. I'm gonna still add this to the playlist though. This song is solid. At some points the kicks sound different. I don't know if that's a sidechain error or yeah, I don't know. I'm not really minding it. It to me it sounds like the kick sometimes hits differently. It has more transient at some points. I mean, the mixdown is probably the worst on the EP Liz deck, but Sven's mixdowns are so good to the point where like even a mid mixdown from him is beyond listenable. Like, I honestly think his mixdowns are on the level of Space Laces, even though they mix their shit down entirely differently. Like, it's definitely upper echelon. I might even prefer his. In dubstep and EDM context, Liz, it does. Like, you listen to a lot of rap. I can listen to a fucking Osama Sun song that's where the 808s are blown out to shit, and if that mixdown method, which there's basically no mixdown, they're just maxing everything out and letting it hit a limiter, is gonna sound awful when it comes to dubstep. But you have to grade EDM mixdowns differently, and you have to be more objective with it. good song. It's the best one. What do you mean make an argument for people like Sizzy? Sizzy's mixdowns are objectively good, in my opinion. Objectively good, in my opinion, is a fucking oxymoron, actually. But, what was I gonna say? Mid EP, Dino, for his standards, I would say so. In a vacuum, no, it's not mid. It's definitely better than that. It's a decent EP. I will say it's probably his worst roundtable EP. It's definitely not clearing Penumbra. It's not clearing Black Mass. And it's probably worse than Brotherhood too. Yeah, it's his worst roundtable EP. It's still alright though. It's still alright. The not is objectively as clear as someone like Sven, but the contextualization is what makes that type of mixdown more enjoyable. Like you said, it's subjective. Yeah. I'll be honest. I think making a song sound good with a unconventional mixdown is more difficult than making a good mixdown. You get what I mean? Because it's all technicality at the end of the day. I think you have to be more creative and more out of the box thinking to make a mixdown that's, from a technical standpoint, not very good sound good, if that makes sense. And that's not taken away from people like Bro that have perfected the art of a dubstep mixdown. What I'm saying is, I think having a unique mixdown that isn't by the guidelines of how you should mix down EDM, specifically dubstep, making a thing like that sound good, I think is, to me, more difficult, honestly. And motherfuckers soft clip everything and all this bullshit, but when I hear somebody like Ba mix his shit down where his sub bass just roaring in the low frequencies, and his shit sometimes sounds muffled and all this other shit, I'm like almost more blown away. Like his music wouldn't work with a clean mix down. You feel me? It just wouldn't. So that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, like I said, this is a pretty decent EP. My main problem with it is just rehashed ideas, where I will admit he did something different with them to an extent. Whether with Sven is usually just the background sounds, he switches some shit up, but I was pretty familiar with most of what he did on here. I think the album covered more unknown territory for Bro than the CP did. And if he wants to like go back to his more staple sound for a roundtable EP, that makes sense. I'm not gonna knock him for it, but I still have to be honest. Right. So worst RT EP, but not a bad EP, regardless. Boom.